things to go bad again? What if before she died, she wrote a letter saying she chose Harvey Dent over you?
Dear Bruce, I need to be honest and clear. I'm going to marry Harvey Dent. I love him, and I want to spend the rest of my life with him.
And what if, to spare you pain, I burnt that letter?
Holy Peak. Good morning, my beautiful children. I wonder if you heard that. Let me test it. Let's see.
You never went to find a life, to find
Oh yeah, you guys definitely did. Anyways, let's do today's trade recap. But not just today's trade recap. Let's get into today's emotions as well. Did catch current high of day, reversal to the downside. This was taken before news data release. I had to put this bandana on because my hair is, bro, bro. It is very early for me to record a video. However, I kind of want to start to record the trade recaps at the moment I take them, just so we could get my insight on it right away rather than just wait later. And I'm pretty busy today, so let's get into it. What happened on today's trading day that led me to short, I guess, high of day? What confluences did we have, and what was my emotion during the trade? How did I feel during the trade? Most importantly, because this was a very, very good trade. However, I found myself that throughout the trade, I was slightly stuttery. So let's get into it. Let's get into really everything that happened. Starting off on the higher time frames, coming into the day, I was actually slightly adamant on shorts. I'm not gonna lie. If I go to the higher time frames, 4 hour. Let's start on the daily. Daily, we have this huge bullish daily fair value gap, but I really ignored it, to be honest. I didn't even acknowledge it. But on the 4 hour, this is where my, I guess, draws were really made. I wanted to see price action continue higher back up into this 4 hour fair value gap, or at least take out these 4 hour highs before looking to go short. Market open, you guys know we continue to expand to the upside. I was not expecting to reverse as quickly as we did. I was expecting us to continue to the upside for a little bit longer before reversing, but we reversed pretty quickly, to be honest. I also had these lows marked out just in case we were looking to go bullish on the day, continuing to validate higher time frame confluence. I mark out, both the sell side and buy side. As price action continued to the upside, market open, we eventually ended up taking out these hourly highs, making that retracement for the 4 hour SIBI, whatever you want to call it, right? It doesn't really matter. And also forming an hourly SMT. You can see that right there. That was pretty clear. And if you didn't take that, no worries. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just make sure to scale through time frames. If you didn't, it's completely fine. But we had that clear hourly SMT. That's when I looked to take the trade on NQ with the micro change of state of delivery to the downside. Why in specific did I look to take the trade on NQ rather than ES? Because if we look at ES actually hit our take profit quicker. I do want to acknowledge, I don't know if I already said it, but this trade was taken before news data release. Now, you've heard me say multiple times, I don't trade until news data release. However, this was an A+ setup, really an A+ setup, A++. And last week, and as we were collecting data throughout the weekend, I guess that's something I can experiment with, taking A+ setups prior to news data release, but it has to be a certain time frame before news data release. This was taken at 9:40, so 20 minutes before news data release, allowing price action to continue to develop, going into the macro. Not that I really acknowledge macro or whatever. And for anybody that's not aware of what macro is, 9:45 to 10:10, I think. So when, whatever, price action moves efficiently, as people say. I don't acknowledge it, but that's just something I just decided to say. But yeah, so this execution was prior to news data release. We had ISM at 7 or at 10, at 7 a.m. here in LA. Once we formed that SMT, we took out internal, and that's why I looked to take the trade on NQ rather than ES. ES did take out some internal, but NQ provided the more significant entry pertaining to having taken out liquidity and made the higher time frame retracement. I'm not quite sure what to say besides that. So now, upon the trade execution, let's get into emotions, how I was feeling, because this is the most important part. I've said it multiple times. I've, emphasized it in my backtesting. I don't care about the trade outcome more than I care about my emotion during the trade. How did I handle the trade mentally? I will say I didn't handle this trade mentally as well as I would have liked. Going into the trade, I risked half the drawdown, whatever. And for anybody curious, yes, this did end up passing the account right there, $400 more than we needed to. That's because I was trading toward my draws, not just a profit target. But when taking this trade, I did acknowledge, hey, this micro change state delivery is an A plus setup. But if we do get stopped out before the reversal, since I would hit my max daily loss on one account, I would be willing to switch to another account, taking a second trade on the trading day, still applying my mechanical model. Because even if I get stopped out on one position and we showcase another highly probable trade position, that doesn't necessarily mean that the trade idea is invalidated yet. If I get stopped out on both, then yes. But that was a risk I was willing to take. However, when executing upon this trade and looking to take the micro change state delivery to the downside, I did wait for another candle. I wanted to see whether or not we could displace below this change in state delivery, the actual change state delivery. We didn't, so I ended up just executing upon this candle regardless, keeping my stop above this high. During the trade, I guess I would say I had more, not of a doubtful mindset, but I had more of a mindset that, hey, I'm fine seeing price hit my SL and providing a second entry. I'm fine allocating that risk on the table. But we're going to have to continue to see how price action develops. While price action was continuing to displace the downside, I was like, hey, potentially reverse at this point. Why, you may ask? I wasn't just thinking that for no reason. It was because the displacement to the downside on NQ. Bro, I just thought of it. Somebody said, how about you displace a Java application? Okay, you're not funny. And you're getting banned from my comment section. You know who you are. Anyways, so once price action displaced lower, really displacing through this draw, we ended up forming an SMT, or at least at the moment appearing to form an SMT, and that's what I didn't want to see. Although NQ did provide the most efficient trade execution, yes, ended up taking internal first, which caused me to get a little sussed out on this reversal right here. I was like, but I still acknowledged it. I was like, hey, we're going to continue to keep our trade open. I was emotionally mature with the trade. However, I just continue to keep at the back of my mind, hey, this is my risk I'm allocating toward the trading day. I'm fine if I get stopped out, and I'm fine looking for a re-entry. However, I don't want to. And I want to see us hit my draw. And yeah, price action continue to reverse the downside. Upon news data release, we hit take profit. You can see we even traded toward these internal lows right here. If I was trading on, just, I guess, live funded, whatever you call it, I still would have targeted these lows. What are we talking about? You think I don't think I would have necessarily targeted these internal lows, lower internal lows for liquidity. But yeah, that was today's trade. I probably could have been a little more efficient on the execution part. If I'm being honest, a little more like immediate confidence to press that sell button rather than waiting for this candle to develop, because my entry really was around right here, or a little here. I forgot. Somewhere from here to here, rather than right here at that micro change of state of delivery. Entry could have been a little more efficient. Would have been a high RR trade. And yeah, A plus setup. So that's today's trading day. I passed the account. cool. Still focused on taking the highest probability setups on the week. But yeah, that was today's trading day. I am going to journal this trade and not go watch Bleach. No, it's still 7 a.m. Just because you want to trade doesn't mean you go watch Bleach. I don't think. But okay, so if we had to grade today, for anybody curious, that nobody cares, but if I had to grade today, I would give it a 7 out of 10. Not my best performance. I like those days where I'm just like mindless, like bam, let's go, bam, bam, and then hit take profit. Like those days are so nice. Like you're just a robot. But I mean, 7 out of 10 day could have been better. Great trade. If we would have gotten stopped out, still would have been adamant on shorts. And if we would have gotten stopped out on that, then this video would have been still made. But regardless, yeah. So can I end the video now?